Another episode of the Division II and Division III FloXC show. My name is Lincoln Shrike. Thank you for joining me this November 6th. We are getting down to the nitty-gritty portion of the season. On today's episode, we're going to highlight Division II Conference Weekend. No D3 action at all this week. All the focus was on Division II as they had their conference championships. Before I get into the rundown, though, just want to remind you, if you're watching on Facebook right now, if you have any questions, any comments, concerns, anything at all, leave them in the comments section below the video, and I will try to answer them as the show goes on. So, with nothing else to get to at the start, let's get right into it. It was conference weekend, and we got to talk about the number one team in the country, the Adams State men. For the first time in about 3 seasons, they won the RMAC title out there in a little city, Arvada, Colorado, right outside Denver. They dominated Western Colorado 30-71. They went 1-3-5-9-12 with just a 43-second spread. Very, very impressive for the Adams State Grizzlies, of course. And one of their All-Americans, Joshua Joseph, wasn't even in their top 5. He didn't kind of had an off day. So the Grizzlies, they get him back in the fold, get him running into his top 10 potential. They've got a very deep squad, and we know that they're the favorites going in. And they won really, really easy and more easily than we really expected, which we'll get to in just a moment. But before we do that, let's highlight the individual winner, Sydney Getabude, of course, of Adams State. He's the record holder in the 5K. He's been top 10 a couple times in the NCAA Division II cross-country meet. He flexes across the line really confidently, and I like the move. You know, it shows that he's ready for the postseason. He ran 24-37, and he is really, really set to battle for that individual title. And we'll talk about his kind of main competition in just a minute. But the NCAA cross-country title, the individual title, is kind of the lone one missing from his trophy shelf, if you will, in Division II. Getabude's won pretty much everything you can, but the cross-country title is the one that's missing, and he is primed and ready to go. Last year he was hurt. He only finished like barely in the top 20, but he is a different animal this season. So we are going to see the best of Getabude, and I'm excited for that when it comes down December 1st in Pittsburgh. Now, sticking with this RMAC meet, we expected it to be a battle between the 2-time defending champions, Colorado Mines, and Adams State, the number 3 versus the number 1. We were all really excited for it. Here's Colorado Mines. They decided, curiously, being the 2-time defending champions, to not race their top 4. They sat defending RMAC champion Grant Colligan, All-American Josh Hoskinson, All-American Logan Ramla, and All-American Ricardo Ocampo, all kept them on the bench, which that's kind of a move Adams State used to do. Adams State used to take the RMAC championships easy, not Colorado Mines, but Mines coach Chris Seamers, knowing that Nationals isn't until December 1st, these guys didn't even care about competing for an RMAC title this year. Instead, they did like what a sleeping miner would do. I guess you could call it an ore digger. That's their nickname. They just rested. They didn't race at all, and it's kind of crazy because not only did they rest this weekend, but really Colorado School of Mines, their top guys haven't raced at much at all this year. They ran at pre-nationals, which didn't really feature any podium contending teams. They won that easily. But they're going to go from not racing at all in September, racing once in October, and then they're just going to race at regionals and nationals. So just 3 races for the top guys from Colorado Mines. It's a curious decision, and if you guys are watching at home, I'd like to hear what your thoughts on what Mines is doing this year, racing so sparingly. I get it. I understand that Nationals is all the way in December, and truthfully, if there's a weakness in cross-country, it's that only one race really matters. It's the national meet, and so I understand why they're pushing all their chips there, but to completely fold the conference meet is something curious, and I got a feeling some people are a little upset about that, and I want to hear your thoughts about it because I was surprised, and I don't think it's necessarily the right move to do that. I don't think they have to be this conservative, but that's the play that Chris Seamers is going for with his guys. Let's see if it pays off December 1st in Pittsburgh. So that was the story on the men's side of the RMAC. Number 1 versus number 3 didn't really play out. Let's move over to the women's side of the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Number 1 Adams State versus number 2 Western Colorado. We were really excited to see these two teams with loaded top 3 and 4 athletes go head-to-head, and it really did not disappoint. Adams won 27-36. They put all 5 in the top 10. really Western Colorado wasn't that far behind. They put all of their top 4 in the top 8, I believe. The difference, though, in the meet was that Adams State's number 5 was 9th, while Western Colorado's was all the way in 19th. A big gap there. And actually, Adams State put 8 runners before Western Colorado's number 5, a show of depth that just really proves that they are overwhelmingly the favorite at Nationals, because that gap, if that repeats at Nationals, 2 teams that are, figured to be going head to head for the title, if that like 40-second gap between each team's number 5 repeats, you can bet that they're going to be way more athletes in between there. And that's going to basically, even if Western Colorado puts all, their top 4 all in the top 20, I mean, they're just not going to have a shot because their 5th is so far back. So we kind of figured that out this weekend, that Western Colorado is going to need a miracle with their 5th to really bridge this gap, because again, Adams State, all 5 in the top 10, just a 25-second spread. And they're not just deep. I mean, they're loaded up front. Eilish Flanagan, who was 4th last year at Nationals, she was the runner-up this year. So they went from 2nd all the way to 9th and only a 25-second spread. I don't know how you beat them at Nationals. I mean, this team coming back after winning last year, they lost a couple runners, but they just fill the gaps every year, 0 turnover. And the Lady Grizzlies, once again, massively impressive. I'm going to say book the national title for them on December 1st. Okay, so we got the team battle clear. Let's talk about the individual battle next. Even though Western Colorado took the L on the team side, Alicia Konachek, the 8-time national champion on the track, got the W and really firmly put herself in the national title mix. She beat Eilish Flanagan of Adams State by 10 seconds. I realize this course is at altitude, high elevation, and nationals will be at sea level, but this was a big win for Konachek. Her last shot to win a individual cross-country title. Her best finish is only 12th, so relative to her really strong track ability, that's kind of mediocre, I would say, for her. But getting the win, the first time she's beaten her teammate Sophie Seward, who was our former number 1 ranked athlete. That'll change coming up later next week. But beating Flanagan, who was top 5 last year, and beating her teammate Seward, huge sign for Konachek, and that is you have to put her right in the mix for an NCAA individual title. So now we have really a handful of ladies that can win an NCAA Division II title in cross country. I think the men's title you can firmly say is between 1 and 2 guys, but the women's title is pretty wide open with a handful of ladies set to battle for that win in Pittsburgh. All right, so we'll move on to another conference. Let's go to the GLIAC. As our number 1 ranked individual male, Zach Panning, kept his undefeated streak in 2018 alive and dating back to his 5K title on the track. He's won 5 straight races against Division II competition. Really nice win there. I believe he ran about 24:10 in Grand Rapids. Beat his teammate Inel Wodamakal, who was a top 10 runner last year at Nationals, by 25 seconds. That's his largest margin over his teammate this season. That's not really a condemnation of anything that Wodamakal has done. It's really just showing that Panning, the top returner in Division II from last season, he is elevating his game. Man, the battle between him, Zach Panning, and Sydney Getabude at Nationals should be so spectacular. We got one guy who's run 13:29, who's been everything since he arrived at Adams State, and it's really the same story since Panning. He's been top 5 every single year in his cross-country career, 5th 2 years in a row to start his career, and then 2nd last year after kind of having some injuries. Both he and Getabude had injuries last year, but now both are healthy, and we're seeing what they can do when they are clicking on all cylinders. The battle for the 10K title is going to be so spectacular in Pittsburgh, and I want to hear back at home what you guys think if you're paying attention watching on Facebook. Who do you think is the favorite coming in? Is it going to be Getabude with his track speed, or Panning, the reigning 5K champ, guy who has shown that cross-country is his biggest strength? You let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them and debate with you there. Okay, so moving on to another Grand Valley State athlete, Sarah Berger, the last year transfer from Walsh. She was also 2nd at the national meet last year for Walsh. Now she's running for Grand Valley State. She picked up her first win of her Grand Valley State career, winning the GLIAC women's title. Got a 21-second victory there in the 6K race. And I think that victory, after kind of an up and down, she had a poor race heading into the conference meet, and where she lost to one of her teammates. Again, she could have just been training through that meet, so we don't know. May have been a high mileage week. We don't really know what's going on, but the fact that she's the top returner, she's back to her winning ways and really dominated over the rest of her Grand Valley State teammates, puts her back in that conversation where we have Konachek, Flanagan, Sophie Seward, maybe some other ladies in there as well. It's just a really wide open individual battle on the women's side. Like I said, the men's is pretty much down to 2 guys, but we can safely say are going to be competing for the title. But the women's is going to be super entertaining. See who pushes the pace, considering the fact that all 3 of the top ladies contenders are all fighting for team. They're all as part of really, really deep teams, so they got team things to consider, running as a pack with their teammates. So it's going to be fascinating on December 1st who wins that women's title. All right, so moving on to our final thing. We've talked a lot about the RMAC teams this year. We've talked a lot about Grand Valley State. One team we haven't highlighted that I think we really need to get to at this point in the season, the Chico State men. Now, in the latest rankings, we had them 5th. This past weekend, they won their 17th straight CCAA title. It's like California something conference, I'm not sure. They put 10 in the top 12. Again, they won 17 straight. Not a super competitive conference. But this team, led by Coach Gary Town, who's been there forever, they haven't raced outside of California all season, which is kind of their MO. So we don't really have a good gauge of how good they can be. And especially when they came back with 0 All-Americans from this last year. They lost a top 5 finisher in Kyle Medina to graduation. But this team, led by this guy, Eddie King, has been running super well all season. They're kind of under the radar, again, because they haven't raced at all in the Midwest. They haven't raced any of the RMAC schools. So we don't really know what we have with them, but do not be surprised if this squad, who's been, again, crushing it all season, if they somehow make it onto the podium. They were just 9th last year. They lost their top runner, so you think, oh, gosh, they lose their top runner, and they were only 9th last year. There's no way they can make it on the podium. Well, this team is really, really has a tight pack, again, led by Eddie King. No All-Americans coming back, but they're going to have several this year. And the Wildcats, they could be the team that surprises, maybe gets a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place finish. And, yeah, pay attention to them. So we got some Facebook comments.
Danny wants to know, well, he says he thinks Jose Rosas is a dark horse.
Jose Rojas. I'm going to be honest, I don't know who he is, but I would be surprised at this juncture if I don't know who an individual title contender is. But if we're calling him a dark horse, that's great. We'll watch out for Jose Rojas. I will, after this episode, look up which school he goes to. So,
we got another one for you.
Yep.
Jason wants to know, what about the Gulf South? Talking about Gulf South? So you got Christian Brothers. You got Alabama Huntsville in there. Delta State, Lee University, Mississippi College.
Just like in Division I, the Southern schools don't get quite the love as some of the Midwest and Western schools. That's typically because they don't perform as well as the national meet. But Division II, they're going to have plenty of representation. Unlike Division I and Division III, Division II, you get 3 automatic squads out of each region. So we'll see plenty of those Southern schools. They're also new this year, and we haven't really talked about it, 10 at-large teams. So we got 24 coming out of 8 regions, automatic bids, and then 10 at-large bids. So 34 teams, 3 more than in Division I, will make the national meet. So it's going to be a very, very busy national meet. That doesn't answer the question at all, but like I said, we'll get some representation from the South. Okay.
Follow up on
Yes.
Jose Rosas.
Yes.
Queens.
No, Queens is, I actually didn't know Rosas' name coming off of Queens, but Queens has a lot of good international talent. I don't know where Mr. Rosas is from. They've raced a lot this year relative to the other podium contenders, and I know they've been battling it out with teams like Mount Olive. So I see Queens as a team that can finish anywhere from 4th to 7th. That's as a team battle. I don't know again about Mr. Rojas, but we'll find out more about him after this one. All right. So that will do it. Sounds like we've answered all the crucial questions here. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone, and we invite you to comment on Facebook below, even though the episode is over. Let me know what you think of this week's show. We'll be back again next week to recap the Division III regional meet, get you set for that D3 National Championship, which is coming up in less than 2 weeks. And then, of course, we'll preview the Division II regionals as well coming off of that. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lincoln Shrike, and I am out for this week's show.